Hey folks, Lindsey Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation. We are in the month of June. I'm looking at the calendar. It says June 8th. Wow, I'm just shaking my head. Things are going so fast. Happy to be back with you guys. Wait a moment, see if we get a few people to jump on board. You know, we can always go back and rewind a clip. That's the benefit of social media or the YouTube channel, which you may be watching this on. Again, Lindsey Huddleston with Sports Psychology Solutions. Young Moran, what's up, man? Good morning. How you doing, Reg? Appreciate you, brother. Good morning, me. I appreciate you. Set my watch by you stopping in. I appreciate that. Another Monday Motivation. Michelle Mimi Watkins has been a great supporter of SPS, and just last week, her along with Orlando Watkins were helping me put together SPS mental toughness class that I had a couple young people on, and look forward to having some more people. Good morning later on this week. And one of the topics that we talked about last week, I want to reintroduce because I think it's very appropriate for these times. So it's going to be a piece that'll be featured in my upcoming book that'll be released later this month, shooting for my birthday, June 29th. Shout out to me for the birthday. Got to have some birthday love, but instead of a gift for myself, I want to have a gift for you guys, something that can help. So as I get started, this won't be a long presentation, and again, you can always go back. We're going to get the word out. I appreciate you. You guys are doing such great work helping me, and I appreciate being part of Team Jeff. Today is a good day to shine. Miss Angie Morris, how you doing? Continue to shine. I know you are taking somewhat of a break from your readings, and you'll be doing your probably daily reading or something like that. And that's a great resource you're providing to people. Mo Benson in the building. Patricia England, my mom in the building. Appreciate you guys. Good morning. So let's get started. You see this topic today, you know, I can't breathe in 2020. You know, there's been some running jokes, if you will, that, man, if 2020 was this, it would look like this. I mean, 2020 has really smashed us in a way that I think we all can come back from. I always had the caveat that, you know, we had this unfortunate loss of life for so many people's lives were lost within an instant, you know, but with that has given us somewhat of an understanding. And also we've had the civil unrest taking place throughout the world, which is continue to reopen the wounds of racial injustice in America, and now we're trying to address that. So with that, we've been dealing with COVID-19, you know, for the past 90 days, 3 months it seems, and I think it's noteworthy to say, even though we're dealing with other issues as it relates to social injustice, COVID-19 is still a factor. It's still something that, you know, we may not talk about as much, we may not social distance as much. You know, today marks the day that many bars and restaurants will be reopening in the state of Michigan. Or I take that back. I think, yeah, this week and next, you know, so a lot of things are going to be kind of getting back to some form of normalcy, but we're still dealing with a global pandemic. It's interesting because I see a lot of people who are on the side of saying, oh, it's a hoax, it's not real, but there's still some things that we need to be mindful of. So that's one thing. But then let's talk about the civil unrest. We talk about the death of George Floyd, and not even to mention, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, you know, Breonna Taylor. I mean, so many names I can go on and on of unarmed African Americans being killed by the police, and you get these, you know, international riots and protests that deal with civil unrest and all these other things going on. So it's just amazing to kind of deal with all these things that are happening right now. So I just kind of want to put that out there into the world so you guys can see that. Chris McLavish, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. So we got all these things that we're dealing with, all these things that are going on right now. You know, it's like our house is on fire. You know, America is burning, you know, not just physically, but literally, you know, and we're not talking about the issues that may be going on inside homes, inside families. I have very good friends, people who are close to me, and I know they're dealing with challenges when their people in their families having different views as far as how they look at life and how they're looking at the world. And that can be really challenging, especially with people that you call your family has extreme view that's different from yours and is contrary to what you're seeing out here in the world, and that can be difficult. Bruce Lee, Lindsey, did you make a mistake and put that slide in? No, I didn't. It was very purposeful. I was watching 30 for 30 last night, Be Water, with my guy, Bruce Lee. That goes back to Enter the Dragon. Man, that goes back to my childhood, mama, being at home with the VHS watching Bruce Lee. But I thought it was so interesting, the underlining story of him being, here in America, and how America did not accept Bruce Lee in Hollywood. They talked about his accent would be a problem. They just weren't ready for him. They weren't ready for a white hero. Good morning, Erica. Good to see you this morning. Happy belated birthday to you as well. They weren't ready to see a non-white hero, and his show Kung Fu, which many of us saw David Carradine play that out, a white male be this, Shaolin monk, if you will. That was originally supposed to be Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee took that to Hollywood, but they ended up putting in David Carradine as a white male, may he rest in peace, to take on that role. So I think that was very interesting. But what really got me about this thing with Bruce Lee is that I know they probably had it scheduled to come out a certain time, being ESPN, when this 30 for 30 was going to play. Good morning, everybody. But it kind of just riled me up again as far as the challenges we've dealt with in America as people of color, whether you're black, brown, or yellow in this particular case, and not being accepted and having to fight to be accepted. And you can call it the American way, that you have to fight to get to where you are no matter who you are. But what does it do? It triggers something in us. It triggers this idea of, wow, man, even back then, Bruce Lee was fighting for things to get equality and get accepted, and he died at 32. He died at 32. He was extremely young, but left us with so much. So what does that do? That can lead to a great amount of anxiety. And the reason why I'm bringing this up today is that I want to be able to make sure that we're talking about the anxiety that we may be dealing with. Right now, we're dealing with COVID. We're dealing with the ongoing protests and protesting for the life of George Floyd and the police brutality. But as we get back to some form of normalcy, good morning, Noel, appreciate you, brother. Some form of normalcy, there's anxiety that can be triggered. So what I want to do with these brief moments that I have is talk to you about some clinically proven scientific ways to be able to address the anxiety we all may fear, whether it's the outward anxiety being out in the world, the internal anxiety we may deal with, whatever it may be. So let's just talk about that for a second. What are 4 anxiety behaviors or symptoms? Let's talk about that. And let me just start by this. Just because you have some of these symptoms does not necessarily mean you have a mental disorder. We talked about that on my SPS Zoom mental toughness class, and that's going to be happening this Thursday, 6 p.m. as well. You're welcome to join, whether you're young or old, to have a great discussion. But here are some of the anxiety symptoms: shortness of breath, heart palpitations. I've experienced that before. That's no fun at all. Fear of talking to people. And in this wake of COVID, one of the things we've been doing is like this panic shopping. We've gotten beyond that over the last few weeks. But, when things first happened, everybody was buying toilet paper, all these other things, the wipes, the Lysol spray, and all these type of things. And just starting with the shortness of breath, I think it's important that we recognize that if these things start happening, we need to say, what is it that we can do to kind of better prepare ourselves to deal with that? The heart palpitations, when you lay down, you're supposed to feel your heartbeat, but you're not supposed to almost hear your heart beating. I was talking to a young man on a call, and he talked about one time when he hit the game-winning shot, and he was so excited he can hear his heartbeat. Now, unfortunately, that same type of excitement comes when people have other type of issues where you're, overwhelmed by something where you can hear your heartbeat. That is too much. If you're having something like that happen, you're being overwhelmed, and that's potential anxiety that can be taking over you and be a negative thing. The fear of talking to people, going back to whether we're having more confidence with the masks that we wear or not even wearing the mask, but just our interaction with people, being able to hug people. I'm around people a lot of times. They say, I can't wait for the day when we can really start hugging and touching again, because we're human creatures and we like that type of response. What do you say, Michelle? Reading about effects to the anxiety on the body now. Right. That's good reading right now. And then also these other things that we do. And they say there's no need to go into panic shopping, because there's confidence that the United States logistics system has all the supplies they need. Now, you can always read a conspiracy into anything you look at, but just keep that in mind too. So other strategies for actually coping with anxiety. Sometimes we got to take a break from the news and social media. And I know many times we look at the news and social media as a way of being able to do that. Oh yeah, I do see why this may be coming up in reverse. So let me don't focus on the screen, but let me just read this off to you. Taking a break from news and social media, engaging in some form of self-care, and getting some exercise and reconnecting. Let me start with the first. Sometimes we got to take a break from the social media, folks. We got to be able to just pull away from it. And I know it feels like we're keeping ourselves, updated when we look at that. But the reality is that sometimes you got to just take a break from it. Shut it down for a little while. You're not going to miss anything or miss the world moving by you if you just step away for a second. Engaging in some form of self-care. We can't go to the massage therapist like we normally would, but it's the simple things. Taking a walk, getting out into the fresh air, listening to some music, reading a book, all these type of things. What's up, Brother Jackson? Good to see you this morning. Appreciate you checking in. The exercise, like I say, that's important too. And also reconnecting with people, picking up the phone still, calling someone, not just texting, but being able to hear their voice and to be able to, pick up on the small little things that they're doing just in responding to you all the way around. So those are things you want to keep in mind that we can do. Also, some more coping strategies. Be reminded of the facts of the matter. Don't just let the internet and some, unfamiliar source be your reason for going one way or the other. Be reminded of the facts of the matter and what's going on. Be reminded of the reality that you were rooted in before all these things start taking place. Practice deep breathing. I can't talk about that enough. That's the one chapter. What's up, Brother Davis? That's the one chapter I'm working on right now in my book that will be released in the next few weeks, as I said before, talking about the importance of deep breathing. The Mayo Clinic talks about the two forms of breathing, whether it's chest breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, being able to breathe from your belly, That's right. Fact check, Michelle. You say, check them facts. I heard somebody say something that, I just heard it on social media and I passed it on. No. You don't want to do that. That's like saying I read something on the bathroom wall and I pass it along. So definitely want to be careful when it comes to the facts. And also talking with the professional, a mental health professional, whether it's myself or anyone else who's really focused on this practice, to give you some time-tested, research-based realities of how you can deal with what's going on. Because at the end of the day, folks, what do we want? We want this peace of mind. I'm not just talking about a trip I like to take in the future, to Tahiti or something like that to be able to relax, but it's that Zen peace of mind. What are we going to do to get ourselves back to these places where we can be able to relax and be at peace, with all these things that are going on? Last thing I'll say, I was reading an article this morning about some retail workers who are being attacked by people who are responding so negatively about things that are going on in their world. That's right, peace. Fighting them because they asked for an item to be held for 30 minutes and they show up an hour later and the item's gone, so they want to attack the person. Or being told they can't come into an establishment without wearing a mask and they want to attack a person. So there's so much anxiety that's going on, folks. And as we manage and deal with this, I want us all to be able to work our way back. Young Randall Coleman, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for your leadership and helping these young people too, going back to those Henry Ford Trojan days. So as I prepare to wrap up, it's a really difficult time for us in America right now, throughout the world. And the term "I can't breathe" is, a powerful term. 3 words: I can't breathe. And it's amazing how those 3 words can be the words of a movement, but also as it relates, good morning, Kia, as it relates to our personal lives too. These things that overwhelm us, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's in our, things that were happening, going back to work, all these type of things, getting back to this new normal. So I just want to encourage you all to be aware of anxiety and their levels of it, whether it's anxiety we all fear that kind of keep us going, or is anxiety that can be looked at as something you may need some additional help for because it can be locked into a mental disorder. And watch out for our young people too, practicing patience with yourself. Thank you. Watch out for our young people. Everybody is told to say that they're strong. Everybody is told to believe that, needing help is a sign of weakness. But in 2020 and beyond, we have to realize that we all need support. Because who of us have dealt with this before? I've heard someone speak recently, and the closest thing they say this reminded them of the 1960s when Dr. King was assassinated, when other people were hurt. Find the calm. That's right, Angie. We're looking for the calm. So whether it's an image like this you can put on your phone, or you can look to, or just something to know that as we transition out of these things into this new world, we got to be prepared, because just as people are coming together with solidarity on behalf of George Floyd, people are, rallying against that. I guess it's their right to have that view, but it seems like such a counterculture view to have. So many people don't want to be on the wrong side of history. So you hear these statements by people you don't normally hear speaking. But as one person showed me, it's not about what you say, it's your actions. If you're a corporation that wants to post a statement, show me the diversity on your board. Show me the actions that you have. I know here in Lansing, Mayor Andy Shore has really come under fire about things that the African-American community brought to him over a year ago that haven't been addressed. So hopefully this can be an opportunity for them to bring those things in. Edward Reese in the building. Shout out to you guys. Well, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate your support. The SPS Edge is working for some great things to happen and to be able to help you guys. Again, looking at the June 29th release of my second book, The SPS Edge, A Guide to Mental Toughness and Mental Health in Sports and Life Post-COVID-19. Long title, but the book that's directly to the point, and I hope it can be a great resource for you. So with that, I get ready to wrap up. A strong person is still human and may have their breaking points. That's absolutely right. Michelle, meet me why, because I appreciate your support. Appreciate everyone else for checking in with the SPS Monday Motivation. We'll be back this Thursday with the SPS Zoom class for mental health and mental toughness. That is a free class offered to not only high school, middle school, and college students, but anyone who's willing to participate. And then the following week, we'll be back with the SPS Mental Health Moment. So thank you guys for checking in. Thank you for all your great support. I appreciate you guys, and see you soon. Bye-bye. That's right, folks. Lindsay Huddleston with SPS back in the building on Southwest Side Detroit. How do you hit a free throw? How do you finish strong? That's important. But the other part of the spectrum is
always packed, always loud, always crazy. So it's a tough place to play in. You gotta go in there with a mindset.
So I'll be in there tomorrow. That's really my motivation. Is I want to be like Gabe Brown. Gabe Brown shoots like